You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Rizzoli Isles After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Rizzoli Isles After Show.
We're just discussing how the intro to our very Italian star is Irish, but you know, it's Boston. Hey, what's up, guys? Bing is for doing, and what are we doing? We are doing a Rizzoli Isles after show here at AFTERBUZZ TV. We are on season 3, episode 14, Over Under. I'm your host, Krisily Kennedy, and here with me tonight is
Roqui, Theus,
and Jen, the Jew, is away visiting family, and we miss you already.
Jen.
It was a good episode, Jen. You missed it. But we're going to get right into things tonight. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is definitely the crime, which this week, it was a very family-heavy episode.
Yeah.
There was a lot more stuff with the relationships and the things going on in their personal lives than there was the actual crime.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like the crime was super rushed like it has in past episodes.
No, definitely. It felt complete. Not
Yeah.
that I wanted it to be complete, but it felt like we had every single entity of the crime.
Right, which in the past we felt like the top of the episode was super crime heavy, and then all of a sudden the end it was like, wait, what happened? Who did what?
Exactly.
And this one, if you didn't know anything about college sports, tonight you learned some.
Yes, I actually learned. I don't know anything about football. I'm a basketball player all the way, so I learned a little thing or two.
Yeah.
That and softball.
Football, women, and cake, Corsac said tonight. what a perfect life Enzo had. So we are opened up in the episode with Enzo, a college football player who's going to support BCU's car wash. I was like, why couldn't I think of the word car wash?
Some kind of fundraiser.
Yeah, went to the car wash, and we knew instantly that there was some kind of connection between them. There was something that was going on they wanted to talk about afterwards. But then it was just kind of him in the car wash getting stabbed.
Yes, and as he was going through the car wash, I was like, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen.
You did.
Because I feel like when I'm in the car wash, it's just so eerie inside. And so...
I can't remember the last time I drove through a
lonely.
car wash like that.
Well, I did, and it was weird.
I never will again. I will now only go to the car washes where you get out and your car goes through by itself because I do not want to get stabbed in the neck while in a car wash. Rizzoli Isles has taken so much away from me. I can't go to car washes. Yoga, I look at differently.
Nope.
Yoga retreats with fracking. I mean, yeah. So no car washes, people, after tonight. But he obviously gets killed in the car wash, and they go back and forth with his injury. We know that he no longer plays football, and he had an injury and was set to go to the pros, and because of this injury never played again and decided he wanted to be a cake decorator instead.
And I have to say, his bakery name, Endzone Cakes, is brilliant.
It was.
His name is Enzo.
Right.
So I thought that was cute.
Right. And
Endzone.
And the twist of the crime is all of the girls that worked at the bakery were his exes.
Yes.
First of all, I would not want to surround myself in a room of my exes.
I wouldn't want to be the ex working for my ex-boyfriend. That doesn't
With
make any
all the
sense.
other exes.
With all the other exes.
It's
I don't
like
understand.
not one ex, but 6 exes all working for him in a bakery. Women are crazy.
That's how I see it. He's not crazy. The women are.
Yeah, women are crazy. Exes are crazy. And especially they all said the same thing, that he wined them, dined them, and then said, let's just be friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll give you a job.
Exact. Typical football player.
Decorating cakes. But we learned that within the BCU athletic department, there's some betting going on, and they're shaving points within the game, and it's all on the over and under bet, which obviously is where they got the name over under for.
Something I had never heard before in my life.
Really? You've
Yes.
never heard the over under?
No.
What do you do on Sundays, girl?
Not watch football.
Oh, we can. I don't know if we can be friends anymore, but we'll work on it.
It's bad.
We'll work on it.
Bad.
So you know now, and our viewers who didn't know anything about football, there's always an over/under bet every single game on the score, and it happens. And I'm assuming it probably happens more so in college sports than professional sports.
Yeah.
Martin, maybe you'll know the answer to that.
Yes, it happens a lot more because there's more games in college than there are in pros. So, yeah, there's a lot more betting in college than there is in pros.
Yeah. And so it's a big deal. You can win huge money, which clearly our former teammate of Enzo's was living very large, and it was
Yeah.
not off of his paycheck from
Trainer salary.
Yeah, trainers don't have $500,000 homes for college trainers anyway, especially when they're having car washes to raise funds for equipment.
Exactly.
So you have to know that the school may not have the most wealthiest sports athletic system, and they were having issues.
And they said it was a D1 or D3 school, so.
Right. So it's not D1, which you knew that. Basketball has that too.
I knew that. Yes, I knew that.
But sadly enough, it was his former teammate that was making the call, and Enzo had thought it was the coach, and they were going to talk about it, and unfortunately, there was a
Stabbing, a very gory stabbing.
Yeah, there was a lot of blood in tonight's episode. That was a little, wasn't too sure about it. But we learned about college sports.
Yes.
We learned not to go in a car wash alone.
No car washing.
You learned about the over/under bet,
I did.
which I'm sure there are in basketball as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Sure there are.
Yeah.
So we learned what not to do tonight. And, you know, it's so funny because I heard you say during the episode when you were like, but it's betting. You killed him.
Yeah.
People have serious gambling addictions.
I know.
And gambling can take over people's lives. And I think that's something that the episode obviously didn't touch on. But you have to think that, you know, when gambling's your life and all your money's on the line and you can lose everything, it's sad what people could be pushed to.
Very true.
But I want to take a second before we get into the juicy tidbits for tonight to tell everyone that, first of all, I want to thank you guys for going on iTunes and commenting and rating us, because you do, and we love it. And I know that we filmed a couple days late this week, and so we had lots of Twitter people asking where we were, and I love that because it lets me know that you guys really enjoy watching not only Rizzoli Isles, but then you enjoy watching our show. So the only thing that we ask for you to do is to go on iTunes and to rate and comment some more and tell us what you think. And we want to get 5 stars. And I know that you can do that for us. So that's all we ask. It helps us keep the lights on and bring the show to you guys. So thank you for already doing it. Those of you who have, and those of you who haven't, get on the train.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Softball.
Softball, another sport I know nothing about.
And I'm so sad. I almost wore my Boston Homicide shirt tonight because I had heard that there may be some softball in, and I almost wore it tonight, but I didn't know if it was fitting, so I chose not to. But
you look lovely in green.
I tried to be as Christmassy as I could. Green, Christmas coming, something. There's no red, but hey. But we had softball tonight, which we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
It was a while.
Definitely.
And Maura and the boys are ready to go out and play softball. No, excuse me. Jane and the boys are ready to go and play softball.
Boys.
And then Maura comes in. First of all, their uniforms were hysterical.
It was like a little nurse's.
They did. They looked like nurses.
Yeah.
But she had the pulled up socks and the pants, and they were ready. And she was like, I'm warming up my glove. It still had the tags on it. And Jane, being the tomboy that she is, was hysterical because she was like, we don't need any help.
Yes.
And Maura took it so personal. She took it so personal. She's like, wait a minute. So the doctors that help you solve crimes aren't good enough to play softball with?
No.
No, not when you want to win a game.
They're not. And Frost was hilarious, snickering in the background while Jane was trying not to hurt Maura's feelings.
Both of the boys were just kind of like head down,
Like,
looking
oh my
somewhere else,
God.
but saying no at the same time.
Yeah, no, they didn't. They did not want the scientist
Not
hanging
at all.
out with them.
They were all set.
Too cool.
And obviously, the beginning of their game got stopped because of the murder.
Mm-hmm.
But then the second half, we see them come back, and the girls are ready. And Frost has brought in his mom.
Yes.
and her, which we'll get to next, because that's
juicy.
Great part of the episode tonight. But he brings in his mom and his mom's roommate, who are gonna be the softball players, and they're gonna join Maura's team.
Yes, but to Jane's dismay, they were beast.
They were ringers.
They were beast.
Total ringers, which we'll talk about that stereotype in the next segment, because we're all about stereotypes in Rizzoli Isles, and I'll be the one to bring that one to the table. But it was great to see them. Like, not only were they all together, they were playing softball again. Maura's team kicked Jane's butt.
I know. Jane was heartbroken.
So upset.
She was so mad. It was so funny to watch her try and figure out how the heck, Frost never told her that his mom was a ringer.
Total ringers. Totally won the softball game,
Funny.
which was awesome, because Jane is such a sore loser. I can relate to that. I am the worst sore loser in the world. Like, to the point where I can't even watch Patriots games with people that aren't Patriots fans, because if they lose, I'm a sore loser.
You're
like,
one of those.
I'm the worst sore loser in I'm Krisily, and I'm a sore loser. And I'm sure they have a support group for me somewhere.
The first step is admitting it.
Right?
You're
So
good.
I related to Jane tonight, and there's nothing worse than losing to your best friend who you don't think can play.
Yes.
Because clearly Maura couldn't play, but she had the ringers.
She has 0 points.
0. But
If
the
that
ringers,
makes sense in softball talk.
yeah.
0 points. I don't know. Do you get points?
Just like baseball.
Okay.
Same thing as baseball.
I don't know
but
anything about
softball.
baseball either.
Oh, dear Lord. That's an AfterBuzz exclusive. She only knows basketball.
I literally only know basketball.
You don't know baseball? It's like you run. Do you call it the first plate too?
Oh, you know what?
You're a little bit more
I
on
might
the
have been
side.
more. But I am an athlete, so I probably would be better at the game than Maura. But mentally, yes.
Yeah, you have to run the
first base,
bases. Yeah,
the
you have to
second
run
base.
first, second, third, and then home. And if you do all of that without getting out, you get a point.
Okay, yeah, home run.
Kind of, sort of, not really. But we'll let that one go.
Whatever.
We'll let that one go.
Oh,
You
gosh.
can play with Maura. I'll stick on Jane's team.
Oh,
We're
really?
Totally fine.
Okay, Jane.
Yeah.
I see you.
I'm a sore loser. It's how it works. It's just the way it works.
Sorry, I'm gonna get my mom.
She's a ringer.
No,
Good try, though.
she's not. Okay.
Well, speaking of moms,
yeah.
so I don't know that there's ever been an episode of Rizzoli Isles that I've cried.
Oh, I know.
Ever.
I know.
Ever. And tonight was a really emotional episode for 2 reasons. And the first one, obviously, is we've never gotten to meet Frost's mom. And we've
Right.
talked about in the past really wanting to know more about his family life.
Right.
And so his mom comes to the beginning of the episode, and she brings her roommate and her roommate's son, and they're just coming to visit Frost. They're coming to Boston. They want to see what Frost does. And so everyone kind of gets on board, and they're showing him around, and everybody's introducing them to each other. And Jane's brother comes back and is like, Jane,
Wait a minute.
something's up. and we know that Frost's mom talks to Mama Rizzoli
Yeah.
for a while, and they talk about being divorced and getting back on the horse, and Frost's mom's nervous because she's getting remarried.
Yeah.
And she leaves it at that. Just getting remarried, which my bells and my whistles were going off. Thank you, Janet, for
I had
bringing
no
this
idea.
to the storyline. I'm so happy. I'd much prefer it to have been Rizzoli Isles, but I'll take Frost's
Oh, come
mom.
on.
I'll
come
take
on.
it. I'll
we
take
saw
it.
Jane and her,
Yeah, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet, but
quiet over there.
it was
Peanut
endearing.
gallery.
Okay.
But it was great because and I also loved the part where Mama Rizzoli says, she started dating, the kids weren't having it,
Right.
and then she felt guilty, and then she had to stop and just say, you know what, I have to learn to be a person again.
Yeah.
And I think as children, my parents are divorced. Your parents are still together.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So as children, when we see our parents get divorced, we don't think that they're going to have a life after that.
Right.
And I think that sometimes we forget that they're still people and they still
Yeah.
want to have lives. So it was great to see the 2 moms talk about that.
And even when my parents aren't divorced, I still have to realize that they're people.
Right.
They're not superhuman when they make mistakes. So It's all relative.
I mean, I don't allow my mom to make mistakes, but you know, that's just because I'm a sore loser.
Right.
But I loved when, you know, Tommy comes up and says, they're more than friends. Like,
Yeah.
I've been in the car with them all day and they're more than friends. And Jane's like, well, what are you going to do? What do you mean they're more than friends? How do you know? And they're going back and forth. And do you tell Frost and do you not tell Frost? And it's so funny because then they're all sitting together and they're talking with Frost about his mom's friend.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh my God, they're just glazing over it.
And I felt so bad. He seemed so oblivious and just so, you know, I felt like, oh my God, he's going to be heartbroken. Not that it's a problem, but
Right.
he's not going to understand. He's going to be confused. But, you know.
And you were commenting on the oblivious part, and I feel like that's such a normal reaction is being oblivious to it, is because you see something for some way for a long time and you expect it to be a certain way, and then if that changes, either one, you don't want to deal with
You
the
don't wanna
change,
see it, right.
so you don't see it. Or you just pretend it's not there because you know, and that's such a, I loved that they kind of showed that tonight because
Yeah.
I feel like that really happens. And I have friends that are in relationships with their partners, their same-sex partners, and their families just completely glaze over the topic. It's like,
Wow.
oh no, they're just friends.
Oh, God.
They've only been living
Yeah.
together for 5 years, but they're just
Exactly.
friends. And so I think it's a defense mechanism, and I like that they showed that first, and then I also like that they showed all of the crew at the bar after the game getting together, and Frost made such a great toast.
Oh my gosh, my heart melted.
I cried.
Yes, because I was so afraid for him. I thought he
Yeah.
was going to be completely saddened by this, but here he goes, making a toast saying to my mom and her partner.
Right. And they had
Right.
their rings on, and Jane was trying to, you know,
Yeah.
tell her brother, look at their hands.
The hand.
But it
nudge,
was-
nudge.
It was great because, and I think the mom's partner had said it where she said, you don't give him enough credit.
Yeah.
And I think that's true with a lot of people, that we don't give them enough credit. But it was great of them to kind of write this into the episode, because I do feel like Rizzoli Isles has a huge lesbian following.
Oh, yeah. Of
Huge.
course.
Because we all want to see Rizzoli Isles together.
Yeah.
And I love that they took that into account and wrote it into the storyline and made it not only heartwarming, but they showed kind of every stage of it in the
Right.
short time that they could. So I think it made a lot of viewers happy tonight.
They touched on an important topic also, the oblivious part.
They
and
did,
the
and
family.
it especially with a woman like Frost's mother, who was married to a man, had this
Yes.
relationship,
Yes.
has a grown son, and has now made this life change, which is huge and amazing. And
Exactly.
Frost with his little toast, and he's just so, it's
so,
so
admirable.
he's becoming such a man. Like, he's not throwing up at the crime scenes anymore.
Exactly. It's a
and
becoming of age story now for him.
he is, and I love that they're now showing all the sides of him,
Right.
which is great. And
We love
we
you,
didn't.
Frost.
I know. I love Frost. I did. He made me cry tonight, and I don't ever
Yeah.
cry at Rizzoli Isles. We didn't get to know a lot about Mama Rizzoli and if she's
No.
dating this episode.
We didn't get anything of Mom Rizzoli except for the advice she gave to Frost's mom.
Right. No Mama Rizzoli tonight.
We missed her.
But Jen, who of course is not here tonight, Jen's favorite came back tonight
Oh, Casey's back.
in a brutal way.
Really brutal way. I mean, we all saw that he was a little insensitive at times, but I felt really bad for Jane this time around.
He just, you know, it's so tough you can't put yourself in that situation, obviously, ever, because you never will understand it. So Casey obviously comes back
Unexpected.
completely unexpected. It's a Sunday, we know, because they say it a few times in the episode, and he's there, but not to see Jane, which of course we all think he's there to see Jane, because
Yes,
the
we
hopeless
hope.
and romantic and all of us, but he's there to see Corsac. And he's there to see Corsac because of the dog, which Elsie was in a couple episodes prior to this where he was with Corsac.
Right.
So now Elsie is now a service dog and has gone to Casey. And, you know, he's just so flat
So flat.
about everything.
I can't tell where his head's at.
I'm not here to see you. I told you when I want to see you I'd call, and I haven't called. And I was
Yeah.
just like, really?
Like I told you I'll tell you when I'm ready. Well, are you ready? Nah.
Not yet.
Almost.
I'm almost there.
Almost
It's like the douche award. Can I say that on AfterBuzz? Because
Oh
I
my
just
gosh.
did. The douche award of the
Bleep.
night went to Casey. I mean, it was horrible. It was like I've never heard. I don't understand. I'll be in touch when I'm ready, but I'm not ready yet. See you later. And I was just like, I understand. He's going through a lot. He's dealing with a lot. He's learning how to be himself again.
Right.
And I totally relate to being by yourself during that. I'm that person. If I'm sick or I don't feel good, leave me alone.
Right.
Don't talk to me.
You don't
I
want
shut
anybody's
down.
sympathy.
I shut
nothing.
Exactly. Like because it makes you feel worse. It makes you feel broken, and so you want to be left alone. So I relate to that side of him. I don't relate to the coldness and the dishonesty with Jane because I feel like he hasn't been honest with her.
But do you think it might just be his personality, that coldness?
I
There
mean,
has to be a light of some sort in him when he sees Jane.
And we saw that a little
Yeah.
bit in the restaurant. We've seen it in the past with him when they
Right.
used to Skype when he was away. We saw that. And we saw the lightness of him. And he's obviously lost a lot of that with this injury. And I can't, like I said, I can't really imagine something that life altering happening because it hasn't happened. And I don't think any of
Right.
us can put us in those shoes. But he's just so cold. And, it's I'm just going to leave Elsie with Corsac for a while and I'll let you know.
Deuces. Like, Jane, poor Jane, the gazes that she was giving Casey during that dialogue when they were in the precinct.
Yeah.
It was just so, like, I miss you. I want
And because
you.
we're so used to seeing Jane as
Yeah.
this tough tomboy who doesn't take from anyone.
Exactly.
And, like, I bleeped that one myself. I was good.
Good.
But, she's always just so tough and so hard. And
Right.
so, you see the banter between her and Maura, but you don't ever see that soft side of her. And
Yes.
it was like, she was like a lost puppy.
She was tonight. My heart again melted for her as well.
It was.
The
And-
look she was giving Casey and the sadness in her eyes. Just heartbreaking.
And when she was with Maura, we've all been there where somebody's said something or done something to us that we just can't wrap our heads around. And so we're trying to make sense and you just overtalk it.
Yes.
You just talk about it until you can't talk about it anymore.
But it takes Maura to time her precisely 31 minutes.
Of course.
You've been talking about Casey 31 minutes.
Yeah, she talked
Please
about the
shut up.
hand guy longer.
Oh, true.
She talked about the hand guy for a while. So
She did.
But
Hypocrite.
and I feel like at that point, Jane had no idea what was going on. None. And then, Corsac finally tells her that he'd asked about Jane and that he's taking Elsie for a few months. And Jane wants to know why. You're a detective. Why didn't you find out more information? And he's just like, because it wasn't my business.
Right. But little did I know you're a detective also because you figured it out. So
I have to say, I thoroughly enjoy all of Rizzoli Isles. I really do. This episode, I was like,
You
maybe
were
I
on
should
it.
be a writer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, nothing surprised me tonight, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it.
Good.
Casey comes back to Jane's apartment
Yes.
and is sitting on the stoop. And we know that she's on at least the second floor. And he says, I'm not coming up. And she says, yeah, you are. And she runs upstairs, tries to clean the apartment. And obviously, it's going to take him a little while to get up the stairs, which she makes him do. And I kind of feel like at that point, he needed that tough love.
Yeah.
He needed that push.
And we also saw her be a little girly when she came in. She's like, oh, God, my room.
Yeah,
And she
there's
tries to
stuff
clean up
everywhere.
another side of her.
Yeah, I relate to that messy side too. But I thought the conversation was going to go so differently in the apartment.
Yeah, maybe a little more, I guess, I don't want to say action, but
He
positivity.
climbed the stairs.
Yeah.
Like the poor guy was pale as a ghost,
Yes.
sweating profusely, climbed the stairs to say, see ya?
Yes, to not make it worth it.
Like it was horrible.
Yeah.
And he tells her about this surgery, which, he makes sound promising.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get into any of the details of, I could die.
Yeah.
I could be worse paralyzed than I am now. He doesn't get into any details. He just says,
But that's the coldness, He doesn't want her to feel, he doesn't want her to know the details because he wants to, in case something did happen, he just wants to leave in peace, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why. But
Let me kiss you, then let me go.
yeah.
Brutal.
So brutal.
Like, you climbed 2 flights of stairs to say that? I think I would have slapped him in the face.
Mm.
Like, it was not okay.
Wasn't pretty. No,
Not okay.
I didn't appreciate that either. I think Jane would have been more appreciative if he was just honest
Right.
and just, left without the kiss maybe. And just said, you know what, I gotta go. Just been to the point.
And he asked about her dating, which I think made him feel better about what he was doing.
Yeah.
Like knowing that she dated someone else and that she cared about them, it made him feel like, okay, I can do this. Like, it's
Yeah.
okay. And I just thought that was very harsh. And Maura, obviously being the caring friend, does all this research on the surgery.
Yeah.
She talks to Corsac, who says pretty much that Casey knows how dangerous the surgery is and that he might not make it because he says, will you take care of Elsie in case anything happens to me? And Corsac doesn't want to tell Jane because he doesn't feel like it's his place. So Maura does. And that's how the episode ends this week. And it always ends in some kind of form of them together, usually on such a happier note. Which leads me to believe that there's going to be some big trauma.
I believe so.
Because,
Either that or he doesn't go through with it. That's a prediction.
I want her to ask him not to have the surgery.
Yes. So there's no more regret because she was supposed to ask him not to go to Afghanistan either.
And he wanted to ask
went.
her to wait
Right.
and so much. But Maura tells her that, that the surgery is super risky and it's really bad. And that's how we end the episode. And no idea what's going to happen next.
Jane's cries, though.
Yeah.
Got me again for the 3rd time.
You
cried. My heart melted 3 times.
It was a really great episode altogether, though. I feel like they gave us everything. Like, the crime was great.
Yeah.
I feel like we got so much more of the family and the wholeness of the team. And I loved the Frost's mom storyline. So, do we have any news and gossip this week?
No, not this week.
No news and
Everything's
gossip
pretty
this
quiet.
week? It has been pretty quiet. I followed Janet on Twitter. She's been doing tons of giveaways.
Yes.
So I know that Rizzoli Isles fans definitely follow her on Twitter. She's been doing lots of giveaways. She gives some not big spoilers, but little spoilers as the episodes get closer, which are fun. And before we get on to predictions, I just want to let you guys know that the finale is actually on Christmas night. So we will not be filming it on Christmas night.
I mean, we love you guys, but...
Love you. But I'll be in Rhode Island. So I will not be here. Roqui will be with her family, and Jen will not be here either. So we will not be filming it on Christmas night, but we will most likely be filming it the next week. And if you check out our Twitters, check out AfterBuzz's website, we'll let you know as soon as we know when we're filming. We will be covering the finale for sure, but we will not be covering it on Christmas night.
Sorry.
So with that, I think we'll get to finale predictions.
Ooh, yeah.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I have a prediction.
I'm ready.
Hope will be back in the finale.
I hope so.
No, she will.
I mean, for real, not just using her name. I hope so. I want, like, really?
Yeah.
Did the sister die? Like, she needed this transplant or she wasn't going to live? And that was like 10 episodes ago.
Right.
And we've never heard anything since.
Right. Well, Janet had given us that spoiler, and a couple people on Twitter had said Hope will be back in the finale.
Yeah.
But the sister, I guess the sister would be the prediction. Is she here or is she not? Is she sick?
I mean,
Better?
is Casey going to come back? Is she going to ask him not to have the... Sorry. There was just a
What are you
freeze...
watching?
There's a freeze frame of her half dressed.
Oh, wait, I wrote that down.
By the way, and I know all of our viewers know this, Angie Harmon has the sickest body
Oh my God.
ever.
Yes. Can we give her a round of
I
applause?
mean, she's not rail thin.
No.
She's got shape to her.
She's athletic.
I mean, I know every Rizzoli Isles fan was drooling and clapping and probably paused at that same point that I just happened to look up on. So sorry that I got a little sidetracked, guys.
No, I actually wrote in my notes abs with a happy face.
It was just ridiculous. I mean, really? And she's in her 40s.
Yes.
With kids. Come on. What's your secret, girl?
Seriously, there's hope.
All right. So there is hope.
There's hope.
There's hope. There's hope. I predict that there'll be a crime.
Oh.
I saw that. We saw that the I can't even think. It's because I can't read my horrible writing on my notes. But we saw the previews for next week's episode, and it looks like there's some sort of building collapse. It looks like Jane and Maura are inside. I know that Janet tweeted it wouldn't be a finale if something huge didn't happen.
Right.
So I wonder if this. I kind of predict that the season is going to end with a huge cliffhanger. We're not going to know the ending. We're going to have to wait.
Please don't let the show end with them in the building and it collapsing.
I feel like that might happen.
Oh my God.
Like the Grey's Anatomy plane crash.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like that might happen.
Here we go. I wonder if it's an attack of some sort or some kind of natural disaster.
It was just, you just saw a building kind of look like it was coming down, which it's not good.
And probably a little scary knowing that tomorrow is
It's
the
already
end of the
tomorrow in
world.
Australia and they're fine.
Oh, you're right.
I'm just saying. It's already tomorrow in Australia. They're all fine. We're all good. But
Good.
Roqui, tell us where they can find you.
On Twitter at Roqui_T.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at Krisily. We hope you enjoyed our after show this week, and we will see you in probably 2 weeks. So I hope everyone has an amazing and safe holiday. We'll see you soon.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.